Hidden Beyond the Veil podcast, presented by Anecia. The podcast where we learn through media for higher alignment of ourselves. Episode 1, The Look-See. Hey y'all. So, welcome to the realm of The Look-See. This is episode 1 of exploring The Look-See. So, this is a podcast where we will learn through media to align with our higher selves, okay? The Look-See is so crazy, y'all. I took notes. And this is just my interpretation of it and what we need to pull from the show. This is a YouTube show created by Crypt TV. And if y'all know anything about Crypt TV, y'all know how they are all tied together. Not every single thing, maybe, but in the realm of Crypt TV, I think everything is tied together, now that I'm thinking about it. So, without further ado, let's look at the look-see. All right. So, in episode 1, The Wedding Hand, I noticed that the main character was wearing a blue sweater and that it was synthetic, fake sadness, for the blue, the longing, the stress, maybe. And maybe the sweater itself is like the truth of how she feels, right? But because it's synthetic, maybe she presents and fake it to other people. She had no nails painted, which to me was, like classy, boring, subtle, she just doesn't stand out. And a tan dress of simplicity and comfort. It was just a plain old tan dress that you would find anywhere. I'm talking about like Walmart, bottom barrel, you know. Um, so I took that as, overall as her character. And again, this is before anything because the episode started out with some man with his eyes gone. And he, turns around and like his eyes are gone, y'all. He's wearing like I think a striped shirt or something, a button up. We don't know this guy yet. Remember, like I've seen it, but I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see it. As I'm just coming in and like, whoa, whatever. This is how it starts. So anyway, for her overall character, I took it as like, overall she would be stepping away from truth just by her outfit alone, just by her fit, just how they presented her in the first 5 seconds of episode 1. I immediately was like, okay, well, this is my take from it. That she's just stepping away from truth. She's hiding. She's shameful, maybe embarrassed, maybe secretive. We don't know yet. So she's running in a bathroom into a stall. So immediately again, when I see a bathroom, I'm thinking like, okay, well, obviously you're taking a dump, right? Bowel movements, releasing. And when I was in school and I would go to the bathroom, I would be gossiping with friends or crying my heart out because my crush didn't like me. The bathroom is where you go to hide all of your deepest, darkest secrets and keep it personal between you and that other person because that conversation is not going to leave the bathroom. So that was my take. So the bathroom was all about cleansing, the release, hiding secrets. And again, I was like, hiding secrets, like, ooh. And then she had a wedding ring, and it was doing flashbacks from, her and her husband. So I was like, okay, maybe he's dead. Because the memories were in bright white lights, and they were wearing white clothing, both of them. So it's like positive energy, pure image, the innocence of it, of what the marriage used to look like, what the marriage used to be. But again, so because of that, I was also like maybe infidelity as well because of the ring and how important it was. And especially when the look-see was coming and, it was the letter of like, he's coming to take a piece. She took it and flushed it. and still got caught up. So she releases the wedding ring by flushing it down the toilet, but supposedly she still died. So, hmm, now we're gonna get into the look see and what I interpreted him as just seeing him in the first 5 seconds. Because again, I want y'all to remember that like as soon as a character shows up, I'm taking notes in the first 5 seconds of what they're wearing and the colors and the design. And I am like, okay, well, this is what they might be. This is who they might be. So the look see is having red gloves. Immediately I see red, I think the root chakra. That's just how it is as a spirit worker. Like I think root chakra, so I'm thinking sense of self. And like obviously the fingers are cut, so he's showing his fingers but not his hands. And you know, people who say like don't show your hands to people, like don't show your playing hands, whatever, whatever. There's something about the palm of the hands, but exposing the fingers. So I took note of that. And then I was like, okay, well, covering up the palm of the hands, maybe covering up true intentions, maybe like something's hidden. There's something in his hands. I don't know. There wasn't a lot that I can go off of, really. I mean, black suit, I thought death. I thought release. I thought purge. The black nails again went back with the death, with the letting go, with the end, with healing from past traumas, maybe again with the purging. And if he's here to take a piece, if you can't release, I mean, it really is just him forcing you to purge or die. So, episode 2, the mistress mind. This sent me like, I was so shocked. I was so shocked. I did not expect, like, whoa. The mistress mind. So the mistress is married to is married or maybe dating the husband of the lady from episode 1. So the lady from episode 1, her husband is cheating on her with the mistress in episode 2. So either she had to let go of the current affair she's having with him, or what? Like I wasn't sure what she was supposed to let go, to be honest. I Her infidelities, maybe the relationship, maybe being a homewrecker, maybe, her sense of self and her confidence to just be okay with breaking up a home. So the setting is a family home. And again, this goes back to the infidelity as well, because he went and stepped outside of the house of the home he made with his wife. So the fact that it was a home, immediately in my brain, I was like, she wants to play housewife. She wants to be the wife. So the setting is in a family home. So obviously she's trying to build security, comfort, and a family with this man. She's already trying to plan an exit for his wife to get out of the picture. The mistress wears a blue dress and red lips, white nails, and a brown jacket. She takes it off. She took it off. So now let's deep dive in that. Because again, she's in the bathroom. She's done her lips, right? Fixing up her hair. Take off her sweater. So the blue dress, right? You would think like, again, going back to the first one of like the sadness, the longing, and the stress. But I think for her, it's more of a longing of wanting this man. The red lips is bold, feminine, and strength. You know, when you see red, right? And she probably see that man as red, like I'm taking him and I'm taking charge and I'm going to make sure it gets done however it needs be. Like that man is mine. And then the white nails for purity, right? She wants to seem innocent and sweet and like, oh, like, playing the part. But she knows her true intentions. She knows her true intentions. So the brown jacket off again with the brown jacket. It goes back to episode 1 with the brown synthetic sweater. But this one wasn't synthetic. So her simplicity and her comfort and the things that go with the brown and the tan of like being forgotten, being like she took that off. She was like, no, not me. And I really do think that was a playback to the wife, or unless I'm thinking too much into it, but I really do think it was a playback to the wife. And that brown dress, the brown sweater, like, or not the brown sweater, the brown dress, because she was wearing a dress, not, it was a blue dress and then a brown sweater. But the wife was wearing a brown dress and a blue sweater. You see? Like, I really do think that was a callback. So, again, the mistress is in the bathroom. Remember in episode 1, the wife was in the bathroom. So the mistress is in the bathroom getting ready and she dies, right? In the bathtub. She loses her head. So again, when I'm thinking head, I'm thinking ego, I'm thinking authority, I'm thinking power, I'm thinking honor, direction. She had lack of judgment and direction getting with the married man. She had lost all authority within herself by like decreasing her self-worth to settle on a man who was married. And if he couldn't even be with her 100%, because remember, like, this guy still had family photos of his wife in the house. So obviously he still wasn't all the way in with the mistress, and he wasn't all the way in with his wife either. So he was really just playing them both. The power she had over men, or over him in general, the power she thought she had to control this narrative and having him change and be different. Because think about it, if you take a married man away from his wife, wouldn't he just step out on you as well when you become a wife? No honor. So anyways, that was that for episode 2. So now we're going to hop into episode 3. The father's hug. So immediately in the title itself, the father's hug, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, when you think of a father, you think of a protector, a safe space, you know, someone who has honorable morals of like wanting to defend the family, take care of the family, working hard, the associations that goes with a father. So in the beginning of the episode, there's a daughter that's drowning in a red dress. And again, in this case, instead of it being from the mistress with the red lips of like power and authority and all this stuff like that, I immediately went to, because of the scenario of her drowning, of death, maybe anger, maybe betrayal. Betrayal. Yep. Her mouth was open. Her mouth and eyes were open. So that's shocked. She was shocked. And there was a fear. And I really do think this isn't just her like, ooh, this is because someone's drowning her. And my theory is that her father killed her. Just saying. Or maybe the wife, his wife killed her because he was at the dinner table by himself with a cake cut for him and his daughter that's dead. No wife in the picture. So I'm thinking now either he murdered his daughter and he's so sorrowful and he feels so bad for what he's done that he celebrates her birthday every year, or the wife did it and that's why she's not in the picture. So, either or. There's a lonely man sitting at the table with a cake set out for 2, right? He's wearing a yellow shirt, glasses, and a cream tie with red stripes. And it goes back to the red. His daughter drowned in a red dress, and he's wearing a cream and red tie mix, like stripe. So, the advertisement. So, anyways, so basically, it would be that the red would tie back to the anger and the fear and the betrayal. Maybe he actually did kill his daughter. Maybe he really did, and that's why it's a callback to that. So, the blue wallpaper is in the house, and remember, blue is that sadness, the longing, the depression, and it's the wallpaper of the house, which means he's created a prison and locked himself in that house of bad memories of all of his feelings and his emotions and everything that's happened after his daughter. So, he ends up getting chased by the look-see per usual in every episode, but this time he loses his arms and his head is turned around. So I'm thinking maybe murderer. His arms are gone because he's drowned his daughter. And his head is turned around because he tried to forget. He tried to wash away what he's done and he couldn't. He, or it was turned around because he let anger blind him. Okay. Episode 4, The Poisoned Pen. So, immediately again in my head when I'm thinking of the title, right? Poisoned Pen. Honestly, I was thinking like a poet or something. You know how they write like sweet nothings or like cast a spell or a hex. That's what I took it as, and I was completely wrong on that. Because as soon as I played the episode, I was like, "Ooh, this is not what I was thinking." So you have dead kids starting out, right? There's 13 dead kids. And I want to be very specific on the number of 13 dead children because 13 in the tarot is death. Death. This is all about starting over, letting go, and like the rebirths of things, you know? 13 is the end. So there's 13 dead kids. And again, 13 could also be shifting cycles in the end of an era, and especially in difficult times. So we focus on a dead black kid, right, in a red jacket with white stripes. It's giving varsity jacket, like a sports jacket. And they do like a funeral in the school's gym. And guess who's all there? The main characters of the show really are all there, sitting in the gym of the school. We see the side chick, the mistress from episode 2, who is also at the funeral, and the wife is sitting next to her husband. And the mistress looks over at them, and the wife is looking over at them, and the husband is there. And the wife knows about the affair. The affair had to have happened like before everything, or, she was becoming more suspicious of it. But now my question is, why is the mistress at the school for a funeral for children if she doesn't have any children? Now I'm starting to think, does she work at the school? Why is the wife and her husband at the funeral? Unless they've lost a child. So now I'm starting to think maybe they've lost their child and the husband had an affair. But then I was like, no, because how they were interacting with each other seems like the affair was already going on prior to the death. A lot of questions and no answers. A lot of questions and no answers, especially because the show is over and there's not going to be anything else. All I can do is just make assumptions, really. But that's not even, it's not satisfying. It's really not satisfying. So, when I think of a school gym, I think of like learning, physical exercise, self improvement, and especially in a school gym, that's usually where gatherings happen a lot of the time at schools. I know when my school was being reconstructed, like we had lunch in the gym. If you're getting ready to go home, gym. You're getting ready to come to school, you're waiting in the gym. And I really do think this is all about cycles and transitions, how I took it. So, you have a cop lady we're following, and we come to find out that this cop lady is there because her son, the black kid at the beginning with the red jacket, the varsity jacket, um, like that's the mom. Sorry, I had a brain fart. That's the mom, okay? So the cop that we're following, her son is dead, and that's the black kid at the beginning who had died. So we go in the back, and there's a theater, right? And in the back of the theater, there's a red hanger hanging up. So then again, I'm thinking of the red, and I'm thinking of the anger and the fear and the betrayal. So then I was also thinking like a hanger, you hang it. So is she hanging up her past? Is she hanging up her anger? right? Because this is very devastating, and especially because you're there at the scene of the crime as a cop, covering up these children's bodies. It's just really devastating, and it's just really upsetting. Um, so I thought that was kind of important, and I took note of it. There's a little girl. I don't know if she's physically there. I don't know if she's a ghost, but there was a little girl there in a white dress, and her back was turned away. We saw her twice in that episode. Twice in that episode. That I counted was 2 times. And so she finally gets up the stairs of the theater, and I'm assuming it's the attic, and this is the storage where they put things. And she ended up seeing the note, right? There's one candle sat up top the stairs in a very dark attic. Just sat up there on top of the steps. So again, when you think of a candle, I'm thinking of truth. I'm thinking of clarity. I'm thinking of light. I'm thinking of guidance. I'm thinking, protection. A lot of the time, people don't just light candles to, you know, candle rituals for protections and spells and everything. So, of course, it's like the light of positivity, purity, guidance, and protection. And at the top of the stairs, I'm thinking, okay, well, challenges, progress, walking, and again, like transition. And there's only so much I can go off of, and especially because I'm trying so hard to look deeply into everything and not getting the answers yet. So the dark attic, I think of an attic, I think of like hidden things, forgotten things, storage, right? Things that you forget and you stored it away and you're like, oh wait, that was there. I had a storage room. The past. So there's a white guy who was also at the funeral as well. There was a balcony, and at the beginning, he was looking over the balcony during the whole funeral, and he walked out. This is the same guy at the beginning on top of a balcony looking over the funeral in the gym. He came back and he saved the cop lady from getting taken by the looksee. So in detail, like I said, the white guy stood atop the funeral, but he saves the cop woman. He was dragged away by the looksee and he drops a watch. A watch. Then, he's taken away, banged up and down, swiped off with from the looksee. Then later we see him writing in the bathroom, writing the message. If you cannot release, he will come take a piece in the bathroom stall that the woman was in episode 1. And he's wearing, again, a blue button up shirt. Back at it with the blue, back at it with the sadness and the depression. So now I'm starting to think that the looksee literally purposely looks for broken souls, for people who are broken. But this lady wasn't wearing any type of blue. The cop lady wasn't. He saved her life. And I really do think they hinted that with the candle. The candles of protection. So now we're going to go to season. Oh, no. 5. Sorry. Episode 5. The Backwards Watch. So the guy from episode 4, the guy who was stalking and watching up top the funeral, right? He kills himself. He jumps off the building. Half his head is gone when he falls. So I'm thinking half the head is gone. And honestly, my brain was like farted, you know? No thoughts, no ideas, no. I didn't know what to think. So I kind of just thought, maybe he was like pretty absent minded. Maybe he was absent. And also, he, was betraying the looksee by saving the cop. So maybe that was half. He was half in with the looksee and half out. So there's a red journal that comes out, right? And again, with the red, I'm thinking thoughts, feelings, struggles, pains, betrayals, everything. Everyone's pains, everyone's sorrows, everyone's secrets that they don't want out is written in this notebook. And then the watch has an eye on it. So the eye, I'm thinking, is like looking within, unveiling. And then it stops ticking, the clock does, and it resets. I'm really thinking, so the clock stops. And immediately I was like, it reset it. It chose a new person. The lady from episode 1 is back into our lives now, right? She's in the hospital. And when the guy died, when he died, the Looksee chose the girl who was in the hospital and chose to bring her back to life, right? Everything is white all around her, and again with the purity and everything. Yet she has blue flower prints um around, right? So her right hand is missing, and again with the right hand, you think of um what is the word? What is the word? Like giving, right? Eternal blessings, life, forgiveness. You give with your right. If you're right-handed, a lot of the times you give. And because it's gone, there's nothing left for her to give. She's not a giver anymore. And I really do think that's why the Looksee chose her, because now instead of that sadness she was holding, she has anger. She wants revenge. She's not giving out love no more. She's not giving out forgiveness and handies. Nah, she wants blood. She wants revenge. She wants to live. So 3:31 is on the clock, and 3 plus 3 plus 1 is 7. And the number 7 is all about growth and success, and that happens under pressure once you get to it, right? So the Looksee comes out. He's attacking her. She fights him. She stabs him. He runs. He disappears. And again, this ties back to her right hand being gone. She's fighting now. She's fighting. She wants to live. She's not doing the niceties no more. She's not doing I'm going to give you empathy and I'm going to hold space. She's not doing it no more. She's taking her power back. She stabs him. He leaves. And later comes back and gives her a watch. Again, hand out the mouth. Remember, the right hand is gone and it's all about giving, right? And hands out the mouth, gives her a watch or drops the watch. She opens the clock, sees the memories, but this time she was able to let go and the clock started ticking again. Then we go in to season 2. Season 2, episode 1, The Second Home. On March 20th, 1930, this is in New York City, a man kills his family and himself. Black flowers on the wallpaper. I remember what I said about the black earlier about death. And he didn't went and killed his whole family. Comes to find out that the Crenshaw Bank was owned by twins. And remember, one of the twins is dead and killed his wife and his kids. So now I'm starting to think that the twins represent life and death. So there's a younger girl wearing a dark red dress, and I'm thinking dark red as a leader, as bold, as fearless. And they're on a barn countryside, and that's where the setting is taking place. I'm thinking peace, freedom, tranquility, and things that come with like farms and country, isolation, running away. The wife is wearing a blue dress, expensive pearls, and a mink coat. Remember what blue is: the sadness, the depression, the longing, and that and the stress, right? And every character so far has had blue of some kind. Blue, 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 blue to represent the emotions that they're showing. And the wife from episode 1 wasn't wearing blue no longer because she wasn't feeling that emotion anymore. She came to peace with it, and that's why everything was white. Not even just the memories, but her whole present in that moment. The wife is wearing the blue, like I said, with the expensive pearls and the mink. The husband's wearing blue pants. Blue pants. And the son is wearing a blue shirt with stripes. Again, it's with the blue. The husband later goes to the barn that night and finds a foreclosure sign on the barn inside of the barn door. And the foreclosure sign says Monday, August 1st at 6 p.m. That's when the bank was foreclosing, the Crenshaw Bank, their bank. The clock is still ticking, right? You can hear it, and there's some red markings on it, on the watch. Three men all of a sudden come in. I honestly thought this was like a dream, some ghosts. I didn't know what to think, but apparently there were three robbers in the in the back. I mean, in the barn, Like they just came in the barn and killed this man. I'm talking about not all of them, just the one, the leader. Stab, 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 stab. The other two were kind of taken aback and they're stepping back. But that one guy, the killer, he was like going ham. So now I'm over here starting to think like, just does he owe them money? Did he do them dirty? Because remember, the bank was foreclosed and they probably stole money, lost the money, and that they're coming back for revenge. I don't know. I just know that that man held a lot of anger and killed him. So the Looksee did not kill this man. I thought that was really interesting, but again, I couldn't even have an explanation for the reasons of why. And I don't think there is a reason why. They just need to introduce the robbers as well. And that's why they were there, you know? And that's why they killed the man. So, three men comes. Two of the men that stepped back, who was taken aback, was wearing blue. Was wearing blue. And the killer, the main guy, was wearing the tan. So this ties in to episode 2, The Second Thief. Because that one guy in episode 1, one of the killers were killed by the Looksee. And it tied back to that blue. They couldn't let go of the foreclosure of the bank. They couldn't let go of the money that they had lost, of the poverty that they're in now. They blamed this man. And because of that, and they couldn't let go of it, the Looksee had to kill them. And especially because, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all came to kill this man together. So, two of them escape. They leave. The killer and then the other guy with the overalls. The thief wakes up to pee. They're in a white tent, right? When you think white, you think the tranquility, the peace, the purity, whatever. But in a tent, it's temporary. It's just a shelter. It's just a cover. And, you know, he, in his mind, he was okay with it. But honestly, he's really not. He's low-key kind of sickened. He can't believe it. He's like, what? We killed a man, you know, and you could tell how shocked he was because it wasn't the plan. So the guy in the overalls, the black overalls, the second thief, his partner comes, like, he leaves. Like I said, he's getting chased by the Looksee and everything. He comes back to the tent, and you know, he was killed, right, by the Looksee. The guy in the overalls was killed by the Looksee. His partner, the killer, the main guy, he comes back from the tent and looks up in the tree and blood is all over him. His partner's blood. And half his body was gone. The Looksee grabs the killer like he's gonna kill him. He has him by the neck at this point. He can kill him, but he let him go. He let him go. Because again, the Looksee had no power over him. Whatever the rules are for the Looksee, the guy didn't apply to those rules and let him go. He probably was crazy. His eyes was kind of blacked out, you know. He looked and was like, this man got crazy eyes. In episode 3, The Second Love. So now we're going back to the family. We're off of the thieves now. We're going back to the family. The wife is in the house now. So the wife, the son, and the kid, the daughter, I mean, they're in the house. They're all in the house. So remember, the husband is dead now. And the two thieves are dead. And that one killer escaped. He ran away after the Looksee released him. So the mother sees a picture drawn of their family being haunted by the Looksee in the background, like, you know, colored black, and sees her daughter in with black eyes. With black eyes. So her mink coat was then hung up in her face during the run. So she sees this picture, the Looksee, she sees, you know, she's getting chased around. And while she's getting chased, she see her mink coat hanging up. So she goes to the you know, like, to the room. She runs to the room is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. She runs to the room and she sees a dead child in the bed. And I'm assuming that's the other son that they had lost previously as well. Because remember, this is a whole family tree on a picture, and there's a dead kid already there. So they had 3 kids total. The daughter, I mean, the oldest son, the daughter, and then the youngest son. And the youngest son is dead. And he has pearls in his hand. And instead of her comforting and for her son, she chose the pearls that was in his hand. So the Luxie kills her and took her heart because she wasn't a loving mother and she had no space to love. So the little girl sees her mom, the little girl sees her mom die. And she is not phased. She's no emotion, don't care. So now we go back to the picture and see that the older brother has red eyes. The daughter has the watch. And you can see the second look-see in the picture as well. There's 2 look-sees being hinted in this photo. In episode 4, the last one, the second hands. There's a teddy bear that the little boy had when he died, or I'm assuming he had it his whole life and whatever. The oldest son is now holding this teddy bear that the brother had. And the spirits of everyone around him who had died is there and kind of chasing him and taunting him and stuff. And he's feeling kind of scared. The little girl's looking at the clock and, it's like she's waiting for something to happen. How she just keeps checking the time. And the older brothers, he's running around. He's frantic. He's trying to live. Like, he doesn't know what the hell to do. He sees the letter. He rips the bear's head off, right? But it didn't work because he still got caught by the look-see. His head is turned around and his body's pointed to the door, but his head is faced away. I couldn't even pinpoint picture whatever. Like, I had no idea. I was like, what? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even know. And so after the brother died, I'm assuming that he was used as a like a ritual, a summoning point, because right after he died and she's looking, she sits the clock down and another look-see is summoned. So I think that there was a ritual that was being done with the family and the little girl had knew about it. And I really do think that the little girl was turned into the look-see because the look-see that came out, the second one, the shadow had a bow on top. A bow for a girl. And either it was the little girl from the beginning from episode 3, the father's hug in season 1. So in season 1, episode 3, the little girl that drowned in the red dress had a bow. And this look-see, the second one, has a bow. And I'm thinking it could really be her. Yeah, so another look-see is summoned. And my theory is that they needed to kill 9 people total. And the number 9 is about completion. And then 13 was all about the end. So I'm thinking that after the 13, there was a reset. Just saying. I don't know. And so there's a bow on the head and blue gloves. And that's it. The episode pans out to a sign called Welcome to Harbor, since 1876, and that's it. That was the end of the show. That's the end of the look-see. I really do think that the look-see was really good. It was really short, so it's not a lot of time that you're going to be missing out on. I think it was high crafted jump scares and storytelling, and especially the details that they put into everything. I absolutely loved it, adored it, especially for something that's made on YouTube. You can tell that they had a lot of passion and love for what they were doing. So I really enjoyed it. I loved looking deep into it and maybe reading way deeper into things than I should have. So, in summary, that is the look-see. That's the realm of the look-see right now. And the questions we have will never be answered. So, what are we supposed to pull away from the show? In my, what's the word? Opinion, in my expertise opinion, I really do think that the look-see is telling people to release what no longer serves them. Because as long as you continue holding on to these things that does not matter anymore, you will forever hold yourself back. You will forever create a prison for yourself, within yourself, and all around you. The sadness that will continue happening and just being with you all the time, living within you all the time, it's not healthy. His methods weren't okay, but he was really trying to teach people to let go of the sorrows, of the pain, of the somber, and especially overstepping into someone else's marriage and decreasing your self-worth, feeling like you are good. And to increase your self-worth really is what it is. Because it's like, ooh, I got a married man, I must be it, but you aren't. She's no different than the wife. And they made it very clear. They wore the same things in different, like from the blue dress and the tan sweater. Like y'all are the same. Y'all are the same. But she wanted to be different. And I really, really, really think that is the message. That is what I took away. That is what I'm going to tell y'all. That is the message of the whole Look See show, is releasing, purging, forgiving, and living on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching episode 1 of Hidden Beyond the Veil podcast. I am so excited and I cannot wait to do this again. Remember, this is a podcast where we learn through media to align with our higher selves. And today's lesson to align with our higher selves is purging and forgiving to release. Stay safe.